Welcome to another video, viewers. We'll continue from the previous one. Our next verse is verse 94 of the same surah, Surah 2, Surah Al-Baqarah. And what does it say? I think it's still continuing with it. God is still continuing with his talk with the Israelis. Let's see what it says. Kul in kanat lakum al-ahiratu adaru al-ahiratu inda Allahi halisatan min duni nasi fatamanna'u al-mauta in kuntum sadiqin. He's challenging them. He's challenging them. He's saying he's telling the prophet to tell them, if the last home with God be for you specially, halisatan specially, being for you specially, and not for anyone else, doing nas, then seek ye for death, if ye are sincere. I repeat it in English. If the last home with Allah or with God be for you specially, and not for anyone else, then seek ye for death, if ye are sincere. If you like the last home, seek for death. He's talking to everybody, but through the Israelis. We want to die. Or we want to go to heaven, but we don't want to die. We run to the pharmacy, buy medicines. Then we run to the hospitals. We call for help, but we want to go to heaven. He's telling the Israelis. Wonderful, isn't it? So let's go to 95. I'm used to so. Instead of saying now, I say so. Pardon me, it's one of those things. Maybe I'm trying to speak vernacular. Let's go to 95. What does it say? Walan yatamannu abadan bima kadamat aydihim wallahu alayhim bizalimin. English. But they shall never seek for death on account of the sins which their hands have sent on before them, and God is well acquainted with the wrongdoers. Wallahu alimun bizalimin. Sorry, I think I read it wrongly the first time. Wallahu alimun bizalimin. And God is well acquainted with the wrongdoers. Let's go to 96. وَلَتَجِدَنَّهُمْ أَحْرَصَ النَّاسِ عَلَى حَيَوَاتٍ وَمِنَ الَّذِينَ أَشْرَكُوا يُوَدُّ أَحَدَهُمْ لو يعمروا ألف سنة وما هو بمزحزحه من العذاب. وما هو من العذاب أن يمر والله بصير بما يعملون. Sorry for bad reading. English. Thou will indeed find them, of all people, most greedy, harassing, most greedy. God will indeed find them most greedy of life, even more than the idolaters. Mm? Each one of them wishes he could be given a life of 1,000 years, but the grant of such life will not save him from due chastisement, for God sees well all that they do. So this, you see, the words of God may be directed to Israelis, but it's directed to everybody. It's happening today. And like I said before, he took the Israelis above, he considered the Israelis above all nations. You see that this verse applies to us today. We want to live 1,000 years, but we are greedy. We are greedy. We don't care about others. Hmm? Elsewhere, it says the righteous people وفي أموالهم حقا للسائل والمحروم, and in their wealth there is a portion reserved for beggars and the needy. Eh? We don't do it. It's here in this verse. Huh? God is talking to us in this way directly. It's happening today and it will continue to happen. Let's go to 97. Excuse me. Is it 97? Yes, 97. And that's another section, section 12. What does it say? Man kana adwan لجبريل فإنه فإنه نزله على قلبك بإذن الله مصدقا لما بين أيديكم لما بين أيديهم وما هو بين أيديهم وهدى وبشرى للمؤمنين. Sorry again for bad reading. I say I'm not perfect in Arabic. Uh, in English, say, whoever is an enemy to Gabriel, eh? Gabriel in Arabic is Jibril or Jibril. And sometimes I want to call it Gabriel and I want to call Jibril, then I say Jibril. I add the two. Say Jibril. It's not Jibril and it's not Gabriel. Please understand me. So, so whoever is an enemy to Gabriel, for he brings down, that's Gabriel brings down the revelation to thy heart by Allah's will and confirmation of what went before, and guidance and glad tidings for those who believe. That is it. It's here we are being reminded that the Quran is only a confirmation of the what came earlier. Hmm? And anybody going against it is an enemy to who? Gabriel, that the angel of God. If you go against the Quran, you are an enemy to the what do you call it? To Gabriel, the angel of God. If you say Muhammad raped because he took Aisha young, 13, then you are saying Gabriel raped because Gabriel impregnated Mary. And Mary was young, 13. He raped her and it was pedophile. And also adultery because Mary was supposed to be Joseph's husband. So it's neither here nor there if you say Muhammad raped. You see, here God is telling you are an enemy to Gabriel. And if you are an enemy to Gabriel, you are likewise, you are as well an enemy to God the Almighty. Now, let's move to 98. ومن كان عدوا لله وملائكته ورسله وجبريل وميكال فإن الله عدوا للمكافرين. Pardon me. That's 98. Whoever is an enemy to God and his angels and prophets, then he comes down to mention specifically to angels and his prophets, to Gabriel and Michael. Then he has mentioned Gabriel and Michael, Jibril or Mikael. mm, Allah, lo, God is an enemy to those who reject faith. So if you're an enemy to these angels, God is your enemy. I've already said it. You are an enemy to God, and therefore God is also an enemy to you, mm, to those who reject faith. Let's go to 99. وَلَقَدْ أَنزَلْنَا إِلَيْكَ آيَاتٍ آيَاتٍ بينات. Sorry. Sometimes I do something, but just to say it is difficult. Ayatin bayinatin. We have sent down to thee manifest signs. That's why I label my signs in the Quran. You see here it is there, manifest signs. Ayatin bayinatin. وما يكفر بها إلا فاسقون. And none reject what these signs, but those who are perverse. Here, kafiri means perverse. Perversity is also kafiri as well as rejection. There are so many meanings depending on the context. Mm. So, and none reject them, but those who are perverse. Let's go to 100. What does it say? أو أو كلما عاهدوا أو كلما عاهدوا أحدا نبذه أو كلما عاهدوا أحدا نبذه فريقا منه بل بل أكثرهم لا يؤمنون. Yeah, I was not seeing well. Um, بل أكثرهم لا يؤمنون. but أكثرهم بل أكثرهم لا يؤمنون. Mhm. Is it not the case, into brackets the case, is it not that every time they make a covenant, some party among them throw it aside? Nay, most of them are faithless. Mm. أو كلما أحدوا أحدا نبذهم فريقا. Mm. Is it not the case that every time they came a covenant, some party of them threw it aside? Let's go to 110. 111. 101. ولما جاءهم رسول من عند الله مصدقا لما معهم نبذ فريقا من الله sorry نبذ فريقا من الذين أوتوا الكتاب كتاب الله وراء ظهورهم كأنهم لا يعلمون. Sorry for bad reading. Maybe you can go to the VNC. Mm. In English, when there came to them a messenger from God confirming what was with them, a party of the people of the book threw away the book of God behind their backs as if it had been nothing, as if they did not know. So again, always the Quran says, confirm Musadaka lima him, confirming what came before them. So the Quran is God is always referring to the Quran as confirming the previous, confirming the previous revelations. Mm? You see, so let's go to 101. Okay, I think listeners, let's pause here, and then next time we continue with 101. So we are stopping at 100. Let us continue with 101. Let's see what the tablets have for us now. So science in the tablets. We did this in our last video, but maybe there are a few stories we might have to read. We might have to- Mhm. Bushfire turns into a woman. Uh, Wonder shall never end so long as life and human activities day, go on day in, day out. Tragedies too are bound to befall others, but like the biblical saying goes, so here it says biblical. When it says biblical, it also means Quranic, because Quran is confirming the Bible. Like the biblical saying goes, tragedy is bound to occur in life, but woe unto he who causes such troubles. The entire farming village of Biraho was thrown into grief and mourning when a heinous calamity, well, the English is here, I'll read it. When the heinous calamity befall them in broad daylight, that's the English that's the people I'm reading from, I'm not correcting anything. In broad daylight on January 7th, which was the 1 week celebration of the death of their illustrious son, one Henry Kwesi Doku, a self-made businessman. One opening Kwame, 73, a farmer and hunter who had lived at the village for years and was selfless and notable hunter with unblemished record in hunting. Most of the villagers thought the tragedy was the devil's scheme to bring shame to the septuagenarian for some unknown reason. The reason was Opanin Kessie, who had been a good hunter for so many years and is reputed to have even fired at witches who preyed on the villagers at night, unknowingly fired and killed a 23-year-old widow, Ama Hyunwa, in broad daylight, mistaking her for bushfowl. In fact, Opanyekesi himself was said to have said, I only saw a bushfowl, which I fired on before he surrounded to the that's the English there. Let me read it. Before he surrounded to the village committee, which handed him to the police. Though the incident was painful, most villagers attributed the calamity to the local village witches, who it was alleged wanted to pay back Opaninkesi for his war of elimination against them. Opaninkesi is now facing trial. So the hunters claims he saw a fowl. Well, that's the spiritual world. Hmm? Or I don't know whether God's spiritual world or Satan's spiritual world. That's that name, Satan's spiritual world. Spiritual world. He saw a fowl and not a human in broad daylight and fired it. Mm. Man kills wife with hefty blow. Let's leave that. Fish smell. Lands landlord in court. Mm. The Tokyo District Court on Monday ordered a landlord of I don't know where it's Tokyo or Tokyo, ordered a landlord of Tokyo office building to pay compensation to its tenant for strong fish odor and leading Japanese daily reported. A leading Japanese daily reported. Um, okay, this is interesting. Strange but true. There are various stories there. Strange but true. I'll pick up a few stories. This is what I'm going to read is entitled Arabic Writing on the Tail of Fish. A London branch of the National Westminster Bank has been given the task of guarding a highly valuable, perhaps miraculous fish. The 5.5-inch butterfly fish has Arabic writing on its tail, spelling out divine universal, divine universal. So you see why I'm relating the science to these tablets. Hmm? Isn't it weird? Hmm? So the 5.5, I will repeat, the 5.5-inch butterfly fish has Arabic writing on its tail, spelling out divine universal. There is none, there is none but God to be worshipped. Wonderful. I've forgotten about this story. I think that's why I preserved the paper. On a fish, and there is none to be worshipped. There is none but God to be worshipped. That's a warning to the idolaters. Mm. The fish was purchased in a Dar es Salaam market 8 years ago, and an expert has said that the writing is natural and definitely not the work of fraudsters. That's a sign. That's a sign. A sign in the Quran manifesting itself in life, in our daily life. Uh, Humans and animals and plants are all alike. Mm. So that's the quietly potential creature has been exhibited around the world and is in the nut west and is the nut west keeping and in the nut west keeping only until a suitably splendid permanent home can be provided. Until a suitably splendid permanent home can be provided. Well, maybe some of the viewers who are curious can find out about it, whether it's alive or not and whatnot. But the tale of a fish written, nobody should be worshipped but God. That's a true manifest sign of God. Okay, $100,000 for Fatin. A grocery assistant, Tom Maga, sued his co-worker Randy Marsh for 100,000 on the grounds that he was inflicting severe mental stress. Marsh was allegedly assaulting Morgan by farting at him. According to Morgan, Marsh would hold it and walk funny to get to me before evacuating himself. So when he feels like farting, he keeps it. And when he moves to the other person, he lets out. So you see, very, very hard. These are the signs. You see, say some human beings have been lifted up high levels, and then he has brought some of them low. Eh? لقد خلق الإنسان من أصل عظيم ثم رددناه أسفل السافلين. Sorry, I'm not. So it is there. We have raised mankind to high levels, and we brought him down to the bottom of the bottom. So that's it. These are signs in the Quran. These are sure signs in the Quran. Bank robbers sue police. Hey, in 1982, John Crampton IV and Jane Berry robbed a bank in Los Angeles. While trying to escape, Crampton was shot dead by the police, and Berry was shot and seriously wounded. Subsequently, Berry decided that she would sue the police for not having arrested her on a previous warrant, thus indirectly causing her wounding. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? The identical twins. In July 1979, identical twins, uh, identical sisters Ruth Johnson, sorry, and Alison Michelle Ebb were reunited. The pair had been separated in the pair had been separated. Sorry, the pair had been The pair had been separated in New Hampshire 26 years earlier and had had no contact since that time. Both women were hairdressers. Both had daughters named Christine. Wonderful. Both had daughters named Christine. Both had watched TV programs defending the right of adopted children to identify their families, and as a result, each began the search for the other. Yes, another sign. Cries from the cemetery. Police investigating strange cries in the night coming from the cemetery of St. Mary's Church, Felling, Durham, found a full set of clothes and a pair of false teeth, but no sign of the owner. A senior officer commanded, "There are no reports of anyone looking suspiciously undressed." So, another sign. Let me give you the title of the paper again, or the February. This is February 10th edition. February 10th to February 16th, 2003. Love and Life. Let me show you the cover story. So you see wonders, signs. Um, the camel domesticated. The camel, that's the title. The camel has never been domesticated in the sense of being friendly to man, but it remains a sullen and aggressive creature. Oh, that's the English. Let me read it. The camel has never been domesticated in the sense of being friendly to man, but remains sullen and aggressive creatures. Icelanders, the most Another title, Icelanders, the most literate people in the world are Icelanders, who read more books per capita than any other nation. So, a good piece of information. They say the Icelanders are the most read in the world. Better than life triangle, which is uh, Brittany love triangle turning violent. Her love triangle now a foursome. Love triangle, that's three people haven't laughed, and now it turns foursome. That's four people haven't laughed together. Hmm? or making love together if you like. Some of you may know these personalities. The title is Nell Carter died before she could save Whitney. I won't go into it now, but maybe some of you will know them. So, especially those abroad, not in Africa. Well, viewers, let's end here and wait for the next video. Uh, so, you see science in the Quran and science in our daily life documented in various media, including the tabloids that I'm reading to you, the tabloids that I read decades back and I've kept for myself. Uh, there are some as far back as maybe 19, as 1980s or something. So let's stop here and continue. Thank you very much for listening. Ilan Kai.